Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Sit back, try to relax, and relive my nightmares with me. The price of fame. In the glitzy world of Hollywood, there existed a family unlike any other, their fame and fortune masking a dark and sinister secret. Behind the dazzling facade of their lavish mansion lay a cursed legacy that spanned generations. The family's rise to stardom was fueled by an insatiable thirst for attention and power. But as their fame grew, so too did the darkness that lurked within their midst. Whispers of strange rituals and unholy pacts surrounded them, whispered by those who dared to speak of the family's true nature. As the years passed, tragedy befell those who crossed their path, their lives consumed by a malevolent force that seemed to feed on their suffering. Each member of the family was marked by a terrible fate, their souls bound to a curse that could never be broken. But it was their youngest daughter who bore the brunt of the family's curse. Her beauty and fame, a mask for the darkness that dwelled within her. As she climbed the ranks of Hollywood's elite, she left a trail of destruction in her wake, her every move fueled by a hunger for fame that could never be satisfied. But as her star began to fade, so too did the power of the curse that bound her. Desperate to reclaim her former glory, she made a deal with forces beyond her understanding, sealing her fate in blood. And so, the family's legacy lived on, a cautionary tale of the dangers of fame and the price of power. As the years passed, their story faded into legend, a dark reminder of the true cost of chasing dreams in the city of angels. The haunting escape. In the dead of night, a figure slipped through the shadows of the abandoned mental institution, his eyes wild and his mind fractured by the darkness within. His name was Samuel, a man haunted by his own demons and tormented by the whispers of a fractured reality. Samuel had been a patient in the institution for years, locked away from the world and from himself, his mind a prison of twisted thoughts and fragmented memories. But on this fateful night, something within him snapped, and he broke free from his chains, his heart pounding with a desperate need to escape the confines of his own mind. As Samuel fled into the night, the world around him seemed to warp and shift, the shadows taking on a life of their own, and the echoes of his past deeds haunting his every step. The moon cast an eerie glow over the deserted corridors of the institution, a silent witness to his flight into the unknown. The authorities were quick to respond, their searchlights cutting through the darkness as they combed the surrounding area for any trace of the escaped patient. But Samuel was a wraith in the night, elusive and unpredictable, his mind a maze of twisted pathways and hidden traps. As the days turned into nights, Samuel wandered the desolate landscape, his thoughts a turbulent storm of conflicting emotions and fractured memories. The world around him seemed to blur and distort, the line between reality and delusion growing ever thinner. But it was not only the outside world that posed a threat to Samuel, it was the darkness within, the voices that whispered in his ear and the shadows that danced at the edge of his vision. He was a prisoner of his own mind, a slave to the chaos that lurked within the depths of his fractured psyche. As the authorities closed in, their searchlights piercing the night like spears of light, Samuel knew that his time was running out. The walls of his own madness were closing in around him, the echoes of his past deeds growing louder and more insistent with each passing moment. In a final act of defiance, Samuel turned to face his pursuers, his eyes ablaze with a manic light and his voice a chilling whisper that carried on the wind. And in that moment, he embraced the darkness within, his mind finally at peace as he surrendered to the shadows that had haunted him for so long. And so, the tale of Samuel, the schizophrenic on the run, came to a haunting end, a chilling reminder of the fragility of the human mind and the horrors that lurk within the depths of our own souls. I pray this story serves as a cautionary tale of the dangers of losing oneself in the labyrinth of madness and the price one pays for breaking free from the confines of reality. Shadows of the Witch's Lair. In the heart of a dense and foreboding forest, hidden from prying eyes and shrouded in darkness, there dwelt a witch of unspeakable power and evil. Her name was Juniper, and her lair was a twisted maze of shadows and secrets, where she brewed potions, concocted poisons, and cast spells of unimaginable darkness. The air in Juniper's lair was thick with the scent of herbs and decay, the walls lined with jars of strange ingredients and mysterious artifacts. Cauldrons bubbled and hissed with sinister intent, their contents swirling with an otherworldly glow that sent shivers down the spine of anyone who dared to enter. Juniper herself was a figure of nightmares. Her eyes glowed red, and her voice a chilling whisper that carried on the wind. She moved with a grace that belied her age, her long robes trailing behind her like the shadows that clung to her every step. In the depths of her lair, Juniper worked her dark arts, weaving spells of enchantment and destruction with a skill that bordered on the supernatural. Her potions could bring fortune or ruin, life or death, depending on her whims and desires. Those who sought her out did so on their own peril, for Juniper's power was as boundless as the darkness that surrounded her. But it was not only her magic that struck fear into the hearts of mortals. It was the whispers of her past, the tales of vengeance and betrayal that followed in her wake. It was said that Juniper had made a pact with the darkest forces of the netherworld, trading her soul for immortality and power beyond measure. And so those who crossed her path did so with trepidation. For to incur the wrath of Juniper was to invite a fate worse than death. Her spells were swift and merciless, her poisons lethal and untraceable, her curses a blight upon the land that would linger for generations to come. But even the most powerful of witches is not immune to the ravages of time, and as the years passed, Juniper's lair grew darker and more desolate. The shadows that once danced at her command now clung to her like a shroud, whispering of fate that awaited her in the depths of the abyss. And so, the witch of the dark and damp lair, the mistress of potions and poisons, the caster of spells and curses, faced a reckoning of her own making. The echoes of her past deeds reverberated through the forest, a haunting reminder of the price one pays for wielding power beyond mortal comprehension. Shadows of the Witch's Lair stood as a testament to the darkness that lurks within all of us, a chilling reminder of the thin line between magic and evil, light and shadows, life and death. I hope this tale of the witch and her lair serve as a cautionary tale of the dangers that lie in the pursuit of forbidden knowledge and unspeakable power. Hey everybody, I just wanted to pop in and say how much I appreciate you checking out my channel. Leaving likes and comments really means a lot to me.